There's another one, the spotlight on the media and academia. He says, our media landscape is so polarized and partisan. There is hardly any objectivity because a lot of the media stations are owned by politicians whose interest is in swaying voters one way or the other. Independent media practice seems to have faded and journalism has become a conveyor belt for political propaganda, insults and acrimony. Okay. He goes on, he says, what is the status of the role of the media in holding the executive, judiciary and legislature accountable as the fourth estate of the realm? Is it enough to just report the issues? Where are the investigations? Where are the investigations, he says? Where are the facts? These are hard questions that the media must ask and reassess its role in reshaping our country's future. In the past, when all had failed, academia was the last vanguard. Interesting. We all remember the role that the Adom-Otchere played. Under the hallowed cloak of academic freedom, men and women of conscience could write and speak words that penetrated the halls of power. It appears to me that in recent times, in our fourth Republican dispensation, the courage to stand up for the truth and the determination to uphold the common good are lost. In our dark moments as a nation, it is concerning that the voices of the intellectuals are receding into oblivion. Okay, sadly, he says, it is a consequence of the deep partisan polarization of our country that such that everything is seen through the lenses of politics. It appears to me that the culture of silence has returned, this time not enforced by legal and military power, but through convenience, parochialism, hypocrisy, and the lack of conviction. Where are the Eduboahins and the PAV answers? So here is where Sam Jonah got most of his responses. From academia, Dr. Adom-Otchere wrote on social media and reminded Sam Jonah that they are still there. They had mounted a spirited resistance to the Public Universities Bill, and that was part of the examples that academia is still there. But we take it from a comparison of the epochs, epochs in our constitutional development. Sam Jonah talks about the Adom-Otchere. The Adom-Otchere was basically fighting military dictatorship. So this is a constitutional regime. Even in the constitutional regime, we have had PAV answer writing in the Chronicle in the period of Rawlins, because Rawlins was the quintessential soldier who was wearing the political suits to lead. And we know that in the First Republic of the first stanza of the Fourth Republic, the JJ period, that was what was happening. Okay, but I've heard other people also talk about why doesn't he put his money behind independent media and all of that. I've heard all of those criticism comes to him, but this is the most criticized part. He talks about the media, and he talks about the media being polarized and being partisan and not doing the investigations and not putting out the facts and merely reporting stories. I mean, I think that I'll leave other people to judge that, whether it's true that the media landscape is polarized and there's a culture of silence. The culture of silence I don't agree with. There's no culture of silence. But he is speaking. If there's a culture of silence, he won't be speaking. Other people speak, people are writing. And these days, social media has become very brutal. Twitter is brutal. You can't call that a culture of silence. With the greatest of respect, you cannot call what is happening in Ghana today a culture of silence. Who is not able to speak? Even when the president was concerned about a documentary that had been created to indicate that he was in support of some violence, when the president was concerned about it, what did the president do? He sued at the National Media Commission, where nobody gets punished, nobody goes to prison, nothing happens to anybody, people are just asked to apologize. He sued at the National Media Commission. This is the President of the Republic, the Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces. He was concerned about the publication. Is that a culture of silence? Where he will file a writ at the National Media Commission and complain that this journalist had done this story against me. National Media Commission, have a look at it. That's not the atmosphere of culture of silence. So I'm not so sure about the culture of silence. So I wasn't surprised when today I saw a headline. I didn't quite read it. I saw a headline where Kufuor was asking questions of Sam Jonah about where is the culture of silence. There's actually no culture of silence. It says it's creeping back. It actually says it has returned. Here we disagree with him. There's no culture of silence. Go to Twitter and see whether there's a culture of silence. Pick up the newspapers tomorrow and see whether there's a culture of silence. Listen to the radio in the afternoon. You know, these days, they develop this political afternoon shows. All of them start from 2 o'clock. Listen to them and see whether there's a culture of silence. Where is the culture of silence? Who is afraid to speak? Culture of silence is a brutal situation. It's the one that you grant an interview in House B and then you run away to House A because as soon as the interview is published, there's a problem. That's culture of silence. There's no culture of silence here. There's absolutely no culture of silence. There has not been a culture of silence since the days of Adom-Otchere. Ghana has been progressing steadily in a constitutional development, and everybody can speak. If there's concern about the numbers of voices speaking for person A and person B, you can say that. But to say that there's a culture of silence in Ghana, it's absolutely wrong. It's not correct. It's not true.